How healthy is the Digimon trading card game today in 2024 in the summer? We're going to talk about it on today's video. This question came out of nowhere on the Facebook group, and it made me actually think about it, and this is the kind of stuff that I like to talk about anyway. So this guy asked a question, weird question, but how does everyone find the health of the game currently? I played DBS Masters for 5+ years but when Bandai announced Fusion World Masters fell off hard, my faith in any Bandai TCG has been shaken since then. Just curious if Digimon is still seeing a healthy competitive scene, gameplay, etc. So I want to break this video down into a few sections. I want to talk about DBS first, and then I want to talk about the pros, those that would argue the game is healthy because of these reasons, and then the cons, to which people would argue the game is not healthy for these reasons. I will say on the onset, so no one misconstrues, I do think the game is in a fine place. I don't think the game is blazing at all cylinders, but I do think the game is in a fine place right now. That is my opinion. I could even upgrade that fine to good. Some people will take that and go way up there, and that's okay too. That's fine. But that is just my personal opinion. I'm going to explain why in this video. And this is as of, I guess, I'm recording this July 31st. When you see this, it'll probably be August 2nd. What do you think? Do you think the game is healthy? Let me know in the comments. And like and subscribe. And the notification on Smash Potatoes. That way you know when all these digital videos go live. In this thread here, there are a bunch of people that are just going through their opinions on what's going on and all that. I'm going to talk about DBS Masters first. That game started off really strong when it came out. I was offering it in my store, and I was holding tournaments for it in my store. Part of the reason why, I don't want to word this. Part of the reason why I got into Digimon was because I was able to do the super pre-release when the game first started in November 2020. I was able to do that because I was doing stuff for DBS with tournament kits and whatever. But what ended up happening is the game itself, and this came from the DBS players. They told me that Bandai was like shitting the bed on the game. The card design was getting out of control. The card quality was getting out of control. Decisions Bandai was making with ban lists and whatever was kind of out there. Events, blah, blah, blah. Some of the stuff we're hearing today. And, DBS was, I don't want to say dying, but it was definitely decreasing in trajectory quite a bit before Digimon came out. Once Digimon came out, it was basically SOL. I know that every single person in my community switched to Digimon. 0 people to this day play any DBS games at all in my area. And it kind of just always stayed that way. Even in areas that I frequent, DBS people, not so common. Even with Fusion World, not that common. Not as common as One Piece or Digimon for that matter. So there is that. There's just a handful of bad decisions, and that kind of led to the degradation of DBS Masters. Fusion World is doing fine. I know people are complaining about the game right now because of the meta and whatever in the online simulator. But to my point, at least you have an online simulator and the game really isn't that bad. You guys just need to calm down. The DBS Fusion World players need to just settle down. Anyway, so enough of that. Onto the pros of Digimon. Why I think the game is fine. Unification's a great start. They're going to be catching us up with Japan, and once that happens, I think we'll be in a better spot, because I do think that unification will allow us to not copy paste from Japan, and the North and everyone in the world will be kind of on the same page for the most part. There's will be exceptions, but on the most part, people will be on the same page, coming up with metas ahead of time, and it'll be cool. It'll be a lot of camaraderie between North America and the Western side against Japan. I think that's a really good thing. It's going to bring out the best in both worlds, which is pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot. I also like that Bandai is starting to increase their TOs and starting to increase their number of events. I believe October has 4 events, I think, or September. One of those 2 months has 4 events. I could look it up. I'm just lazy right now. But, they're starting to slowly bump it up. And having more teals is a great start. On top of that, Bandai's willingness to listen with the store regional blow up was great. It shows that the Bandai organization is still listening to their card players. And for what it's worth, there are a lot of different decks in the Digimon trading card game that you can play. Decks that, for the wrong reasons, I'm going to say, because every deck seems to have an OTK button out of nowhere. But, like, your deck that you choose could just do fine out of nowhere. And if you're lucky enough, you might top a major event with it or win a major event with it because of the way the game is designed. But that is now going to go into my cons with the design of the cards. Ever since these new designers started, I've just wanted to, like, hang myself. Because some of the cards they design are really cool, I will say that. But a lot of the cards they design are stupid, uninteractive, and they just do things you can't deal with. Because they just say you can't deal with it. Examples include Apocalypse, Magna X. I'm not a big fan of Demon Lord, Agudamon, Susano Ace, Lucamon Satan Mode. Insert other boss monsters here. I'm not the biggest fan of that. And those are OTK buttons that really just do not care what you do. They don't care. They just do not care. They don't. Sorry to be that guy. They don't care. Not one bit. It sucks, but it is what it is, right? And other decks have their own OTK plays too. Like Mirage can win in 1 turn. Like, not on 1 turn, like 3-4 turns. Shine can win in 3-4 turns. Numamon can win in 3-4 turns. Like, it's just uninteractable nonsense. And to those of you saying, well, we have aces, you can interact. Yeah, you can interact until they blow up the card that would become the ace. Or they don't even have to interact, with it. They can just play around it. Like, it's just, no. I am all for the aces or, interaction, that's fine. But it's the wrong kind of interaction. Introducing hand traps to fix power creep never ends well. Look at Yu-Gi-Oh! And the hand traps we're starting to get are a little bit... They're getting there. They are definitely getting there. Anyway, moving right along, another thing I'm not a fan of is the lack of product on the way to unification. I did receive word from my distributor that BT17 and the next couple sets are going to be allocated hard. And this is because of the unification. Like, BT16 wasn't that bad, EX6 wasn't that bad, but it's going to get a little bit worse. And on top of that, delays in certain areas, certain countries, not great. Doesn't make for a good time. That's not a good thing. That's another problem. That's another big problem. The lack of events is still a big problem. And yes, I appreciate that Bandai is upping their game, but we need more. We really need more. More offline events. I'll settle for more online events. Like, there shouldn't be a weekend where you can't play in a Digimon event. That is my opinion. It's always been that way. It will always continue to be that way. If you want to play in a major Digimon event every weekend, that option should be available to you. Doesn't matter where in the world you are. That should just be a thing. Yu-Gi-Oh! Does it. Magic does it. Pokemon does it. One Piece is pretty close to that, if I'm understanding correctly. Where is Digimon? Speaking of One Piece, another con is that One Piece still gets the golden spoon from Bandai. That's still annoying because they'll always get preferential treatment. There is that. I think I had another point. I can't remember if I mentioned it or not. I might have forgot what it was. That basically sums it up. Those are my thoughts anyway. This is why I think Digimon is going fine. Just fine. I don't think the game is close to death. I don't think we're even near death. Not one bit. And I think that once we get over the unification hump, once we hit mid 2025, everything will be fine and things will be a lot better for everyone. That is the opinion I continue to have. I could be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong, but I'm very optimistic that once we get to 2025, things will be a lot better. And with unification, hopefully more event that gives Bandai more time to get more events, more TLs, blah blah blah. Basically, I'm giving Bandai till mid 2025 to figure their shit out. Once unification hits, I want to see some good changes. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm looking forward towards. Oh, an online client. Why does Fusion World have one and Digimon does not? And before you say, we have a fan-made client. That's great. That's amazing. It should be Bandai doing it. And honestly, to the people complaining about the Fusion World client, I would be excited beyond belief if they could just copy that and give it to Digimon. The digital trading card game with digital monsters should have a digital client. It's embarrassing. Like, I still don't get why Bandai is afraid of making more money. And by the way, Bandai is continuing to make money off of us. That's how I know the game is going well. Because they are selling out of everything. They are printing out at the maximum capacity that they can, and everything is selling. So they're making profit. They're basically printing money right now. Again, I'm not expecting a client anytime soon, because this unification thing is probably taking up a lot of Bandai's time in the Digimon world, honestly. But again, once 2025 hits, mid-2025, and unification happens, we can return to normal life. We better see some changes. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. Game's fine. Don't worry about it. Hopefully, we'll only improve from here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you later. Bye!